Hi, my name is Colin Brown of H&S TOOL UK, a Climax company. Welcome to the webinar and thanks for joining us today. I'm here today to introduce the next generation in safety when performing pipe cutting and beveling operations. Now, before we start, before carrying out any machining activity, we're going to talk about safety. So the first thing, you need to make sure that we do a risk assessment. So that will identify any hazards related to the task and any hazards related to the work area. This way we can identify the hazards and put steps in place to try and reduce the risk to the operator. And again, although the demo is being conducted in a controlled environment, we've done a risk assessment today to make sure the hoses are trailed in a safe way and that we've isolated any risks or dangers to the operator. And the relevant PPE will be used in accordance to regulations. During the webinar today, if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask. There's a Q&A tab towards the bottom of the Zoom screen. So anybody unfamiliar with the Zoom format, if you scroll to the bottom of the taskbar, there's a Q&A tab. If you click the tab and submit your questions, we'll try and answer as many as we can today. And then any that don't get answered today, we'll log on the system and we'll get back to you directly. So please feel free at any point, ask any questions as we go along. So at Climax and H&S Tool, customer safety has always been our top priority, and we remain the pioneers in developing new technologies within the industry. We continue to push these boundaries in maintaining the customer's safety, and that's why we've invented the Defender hands-free kit for the H&S CLAMSHELL. A UK customer approached us and asked if we could put another line of defence between the clamshell and their operators. They wanted to maintain the safety of operators while operating the machine. Firstly, they wanted to guard the pinch points of the machine to avoid against any misuse, any accidents that may happen between the pinch points. Second line of defence, they wanted to have the operator away from the rotating parts. So they wanted a handheld pendant to be able to operate all the functions of the machine while not taking away any of the characteristics that we already exist. So one of the greatest hazards when related to rotating equipment is the pinch points. And when used in conjunction with site-specific rules, regulations, risk assessments, and permit-to-work systems, the Defender hands-free kit dramatically reduces the risk to operator by, first of all, keeping them guarded from the rotating parts, and secondly, keeping the operator away from the rotating parts by having full control with a remote pendant. So we're going to go through some of the functions of the kit. Again, during the meeting, if you ask any questions as we go along, please submit to the Q&A and we'll answer them towards the end of the session. So you'll notice there's a guard that's bolted directly to the clamshell. This is the first line of defence. The main pinch points on the equipment will be between the tool slide and the trip mechanism, or the tool slide and the motor itself. As you can see from the guard system, it protects the operator from these pinch points directly. The next line of defence is the air conditioning unit. There's an interlock system which isolates any air to the feed system. If you walk along, you've got a speed control. This again remotely regulates the RPM of the machine. So again, no need to return anywhere near the machine during operation. Secondly, the remote pendant. This gives you full control over the machine's functions at a safe distance. You can actuate the trip. So you can actuate the trip, engage and disengage. You can start the motor functions, so you can start and stop the motor, and again, regulate the feed rate through the regulation on the needle valve. So what we're going to do, we're going to run a demonstration of the equipment. Just to let everybody be aware, the sound will drop off just because the noise in the room. So don't be concerned if the sound drops off during the demo, and then we'll run through some of the functions afterwards. As you can see from the demonstration, all the functions of the machine are still operational or remaining at a safe distance. So it puts a line of defence between the machine and the operator. As I say, please use the Q&A to ask any questions you may have as we go along. I will answer the questions after the video. Please watch the short video of the Defender kit. Thank you.
H&S Tool, uniquely powerful, uniquely reliable. Climax pioneered the portable machining revolution in 1966. For more than 50 years, we've been the innovators and technology leader in the industry we invented. As your partner in safety, our automated hands-free remote control systems have revolutionized the way operators and companies approach their on-site machining projects. We're proud to introduce the H&S Tool Defender clamshell with the patent-pending hands-free remote control and protection system.
Statistics indicate that a sufficient number of injuries occur on the job site each year in conjunction with the use of industrial tools, equipment and processes.
Hazards that can arise due to these factors are worker fatigue, worker distraction, improper usage of equipment, insufficient experience and deviation of best practices and other factors.
This is why we invented the Defender hands-free system for use with the H&S Tool clamshell range. The Defender helps to mitigate against these hazards when used in conjunction with the proper training and supervision, work processes and PPE. This is another step towards the safety of our hard-working customers and their work sites, and it's a big step.
The H&S Tool Defender with patent-pending dynamic automated hands-free remote control and protection system will reshape the way you approach your pipe cutting and beveling projects. The automated hands-free remote control allows the user to step away and operate the machine remotely.
The autonomy of the control system is a big game changer. It allows the operator to set the machine up dry, and once done, he can step back to a safe distance and operate the timing of the slides and the automatic trip. Operating a clamshell has never been easier.
The flow control allows users to control the speed remotely and gives them the ability to slow down for heavy wall or more precise cutting after machining weld overlay, or speed up for harder materials with carbide tooling. Distractions, operator error, deviation from best practices, or adverse chance events in the work environment can lead to worker injuries. To further mitigate against these hazards, the Defender protection system safeguards operators with the self-adjusting shark fin and Defender guards. The self-adjusting shark fin can adjust to the tripper position at any angle and requires no tools for setup, mitigating hazards between the rotating slides and tripper posts. The Defender guards mount cleanly to the ring, mitigating hazards between the rotating slides and the motor mount.
One additional feature is the pneumatic conditioning unit, which has a low pressure dropout function. So if you lost air pressure to the machine for any reason, it would prevent unintentional startup of the equipment once that air pressure returned. At Climax, our engineering department prides ourselves on having a measurable impact on worker and workplace safety. And we think we've really raised the bar with our Defender system. Good news for our existing customers, it's easy to install and retrofittable on any existing H&S clamshell machines.
The H&S Tool Defender, in a class of its own.
Hi, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the video. For me, on a personal note, one of the huge advantages that I see to this equipment is having the remote pendant. It just maintains the safe distance for the operator well away from rotating parts and still giving them the functions of the full range of the equipment. So I see that as a huge advantage because it just mitigates any danger by keeping them at a really safe distance. What we'll do now, we'll open up the question and answers. So Michael behind the camera is going to be asking me the questions and I'll try to answer as many as I can. As we go along in this session, please feel free to add more questions on. So we'll ask questions as we go, and we'll try and answer as many as we can. So Michael.
What size do the guards come in?
The guards, there's a guard per ring size. So every AFC and BFC machine has a specific guard for that ring size. You can still mount the machine within the 8-inch range or the 14-inch range for the BFC machines, but it's specific to the ring size to make sure that it's guarded for all the major pinch points. So the guards are mounted directly to the ring itself. There's no modification to the machine needed whatsoever. The guards are bolted directly to the bolt pattern of the existing machine, and it bolts directly on, so it's per ring size.
How is the shark fin installed?
The shark fin, so the shark fin is installed for tool slides from 7-inch and above. So basically, it'll just sit over the block itself. Bring it down, and it's fully adjusted. So the shark fin bolts directly to the triple assembly, and you can move it up and down depending on the size. But the shark fin only comes into play with tool slides of 7-inch and above.
What is the available length of hoses for hands-free use?
The standard length of the hoses are 10 foot, so it keeps the operator a good distance away from the rotating parts. It'd just be a case of getting a longer hose length if required for extending those sizes.
What materials are the guards made of?
The guards themselves, so it's a steel plate for the guard itself. It's about a 2 mm thick guard plate, so again, doesn't interfere with the operation of the equipment. And the shark fin itself is a composite, so it's a plastic composite. Again, aluminium for lightweight to bolt onto the machine.
Are the Defender kits going to be available for rent?
Absolutely. So the Defender kits will be available from all your local depots, and that'll be globally. So you can rent the Defender kit by itself as a safety kit to add on to your existing machines. So customers that already have the equipment, they can install the Defender kits onto their machines. If a client is going to rent H&S Clamshell from any of the global depots, they can also rent the Defender kits alongside the standard machines.
Is the shark fin kit suitable for all ranges?
Yes, absolutely. So the shark fin is mounted onto a number 7 tripper assembly. So that, no matter what size machine, generally it's the BFC machines, so it's cutting large pipe diameters or big diameter pipe. So any size of machine that has a 7-inch or above tripper assembly, the shark fin is compatible.
Can I use it for my existing machines?
Again, absolutely. So the bolts, the guard itself is bolted to the existing bolt pattern within a standard machine. So there's no modification to the machine needed at all. You can integrate the remote pendant, again, directly to a standard machine. It'll just be the automated trip system, the remote pendant, the Defender air caddy, and also the guards themselves, but it can be fully integrated into a standard machine that customers have bought from many years ago.
Do we need to change the shark fin mountings every time if the H&S machine rotates in the opposite direction?
No, it's I'm not. The clamshell only rotates clockwise, so there's no need for the machine to ever rotate in an anti-clockwise position. So the shark fin's designed to be running in a clockwise position.
Is it possible to buy the remote control separately from an existing AFC or BFC machine?
Yeah, you can part buy kits. So if you wanted to buy just the remote pendant system, you can buy that as an accessory as well.
How long does it take to mount the Defender kit?
It takes around about 10 to 15 minutes at the absolute most. So the kit itself, the guard itself, is just bolted to the bolt pattern. So it's just a case of replacing the button cap screws on the guard itself, mounting those down, and then just hooking up the hoses for the system. So around about 10 minutes or so, if that. The guard can then stay in place. So if you were to strip the machine off the asset, there's joints within the guard that match the joint in the machine itself. So you can leave the guard in place, remove the machine, mount to the next job, and it's already mounted in place, ready.
Do you need more radial clearance around the pipe to mount the Defender guard?
No, it doesn't pose any really clearance issues. As you can see here, the guard itself sits just above the tool slides. So this is a number 3 tool slide that will sit just above the tool slide itself. So the major radial clearance obstruction for the machine will be the tool slides themselves. If you were to use number 7s again with the shark fin, the tool slides themselves would be the biggest radial clearance obstruction. If you were to have a really tight tolerance job where there was an obstruction really close to the pipe, you can use smaller tool slides. So the H&S clamshell has lots of different accessories. So you can have smaller tool slides which sit inside the body of the machine. If that was the case, you wouldn't need the guard because there'd be no pinch points obstructions.
Would you typically leave the guard on after use, and how about storage?
Yeah, so there's new boxes that have been designed to accept the guards themselves. And again, the guards can be left in place, so you can fit the machines in the box with the guards still in place if you needed to.
Can the Defender system stay mounted if they are put back in the box?
Yeah, so same question really. It's, you can strip the machine down, keep the Defender kit mounted on the clamshell, and store obviously safely in the box. So that's all the questions we've got time for today. So thank you for sending those in. Any questions we didn't get to, there is a demonstration this afternoon that's going to be delivered by Erica Jackson over in Ohio in the States. So that'll be 3 p.m. UK time, 7 a.m. Pacific time, and 10 a.m. Eastern time. So any questions you have, please log on to Erica's demo. She'll try and answer them as well. Any we didn't get to are logged on the system, and we will get a response directly to you. So again, any further questions in the future, you can send them into askcpmt@cpmt.com. So that's askcpmt@cpmt.com. So please feel free to fire in any questions you might have. So thanks for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the demo.